And welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. Last weekend I went to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo with my wife. We just went for the single day, but we had a great time. This was on the Saturday. There was a huge crowd, and when we arrived in here, we saw that the show was actually moved to the Exhibition Hall A as opposed to B, which it was in last year. I wondered if that meant it would be a smaller venue, but no, this was a much bigger room, and it was just full, like wall to wall, with old retro items, even some new stuff, some artwork, some t-shirts, some plushies, pillows, cards, you name it, they had everything. And just wanted to get together my footage to show you all the great stuff that we saw. If you caught my pickups video earlier in the week, you'll see that I picked up quite a few items. I could have bought more for sure, but I had to budget my time, and also there's only so much room in the suitcase. This was one booth that really intrigued me. They had a whole bunch of rare items and some prototypes behind the glass there. Definitely worth checking out. Over here you can see they got t-shirts in the distance, but also some birthday card items. These are, what do they call it when you put items behind a frame in glass and there's like depth to it? I know there's a word for that, but anyway, 8-bit art characters inside there. Set up some old retro looking TVs with retro couches and carpet underneath. That was great for a laugh. They had something similar last year. Very happy to see it. Just bins and bins and bins of stuff. Like, you could be, just to go through one table like that would take you 15-20 minutes easily if you wanted to actually look and see every single item that was for sale. Even had some modern stuff there. That was like a Android iPod app that was being advertised. Here's Gamester81. If you know his channel, he was loading up a cart with whole piles of stuff. There's quite a few well-known YouTubers there. And then the shot of the retro carpet and TV and chairs, playing Yar's Revenge there. Awesome. This is SoCal Mike of Retro Gaming Roundup, and they've got their retro magazine there. I spoke with SoCal last year when I was there. Looked like he was kind of busy, so I just moved along here and recorded some of the other stuff in the neighborhood. Some great artwork, and in fact, not only the artwork was cool, but some people had actually made or taken old consoles like these GameCubes and these N64s and applied neat-looking paint jobs to them. I was really impressed. There was a really nice Sega Genesis with a nice painting of Sonic on it. Already have a Sega Genesis, so I didn't pick it up, but if I didn't, I probably would have picked that one up. Even had some old hardware there, some really old computer systems. Everything for every kind of interest that people might have. And they even had these. A friend of mine's really into Hot Wheels, and I think he would find video game themed Hot Wheels kind of interesting. And speaking of YouTube folks, I'm not sure if you know Pat the NES Punk. He's another famous fella. He was there. I spoke with him a little while. He was a really cool guy. I think he was looking at me there, so I kind of panned my camera across so he didn't get unnerved. And what did I find but a computer space? You're going to hear more about computer space, and there's a Vectrex display table behind it there. But yeah, on my channel, you're going to hear more about computer space. I'll leave that as a mystery for now. Speaking of the Vectrex, there was somebody selling one off, trying it out. And I've already got a Vectrex, so that's cool. But beside it there, that wood panel stereo thing, that's an Atari video, what's it called, video sound? It sort of takes visual imagery to whatever music you pump through it. Kind of like the Windows Media Player, where you've got like the swirly effects as you're watching stuff, or listening to stuff. This booth was great. They had all kinds of handhelds and tabletops. There were a few I was very interested in. Didn't pick them up, kind of no more room in the suitcase. But what this guy also had, and I was this close to buying it, was the, I think it's called the Digital 1000. It was the very first console I personally ever owned. It's that one right there. That really took me back. That was before I ever had an Atari. That was the machine that I had. I think that was Christmas '78. Can't remember, but long ago. This was very neat. They had again, lots of artwork. This is a reproduction of the 7800 cartridge for Galaga, and you could buy the actual print that was used on it. And interestingly, I don't know why, some people were also selling Star Wars action figures and Ghostbusters figures. I figure you get all kinds of interests at the show like this, so why not? Then I thought I'd actually take you to a tour of the back of the place, because I'm sure there's places people just don't end up going because there's so much up front, but they had really cool stuff here. I love these cushions. I nearly got a Space Invaders cushion. I was this close, but much like with the handhelds and tabletops, just not enough room in the suitcase. So those didn't come home with me, but I could have easily done so. And we are now approaching the exact opposite corner of the place. Those Space Invaders pillows are down at one end there. You can see in the distance. This is the other end. And this is sort of the opposite from where you enter the exhibition hall. So I kind of feel for these folks. I don't know if they get a lot of traffic this far down, but they had some great stuff on sale. Some really nice artwork. This was kind of neat. This was I don't know if the name of it was Drunk Hunt or not. That was maybe just that logo, but they took NES cartridges and turned them into whiskey flasks. If you follow Metal Jesus Rocks, Kinsey, who does a lot of shows with him, she tried drinking out of one of those and it spilled down her shirt. So I don't know if I would have really wanted to get one of those, but a cool idea. This was a very neat booth. I'll put a link in the description below to these folks. They make kind of hieroglyphs, Egyptian-style hieroglyphs out of video game characters. And as I was recording this, the lady very kindly said, "Oh, please, here, take my card and mention my website." So I'll put a description or the link in the description below. Really nice artwork. Some very good cosplaying going on there. There's not too many people in outfits. I saw some cool ones though. I saw a Shovel Knight. That was pretty good. Along with the usual, the Links and the characters you see quite often at these shows. And here's the far corner. This is just near, there's the Space Invader pillows there. And you see we got Vault Boy with his thumb up. If you watch my pickups video, you'll know about that little story. So turning in the other direction, this is where all the games were. And they had an interesting collection. They had newish games. Like these are obviously iPhone games converted to some kind of arcade cabinet. And this is one Killer Queen, a sort of group game that was made to look like an arcade cabinet. They had something similar last year. In addition to that, there was a collection of all kinds of consoles, from Ataris, N64s, Super NESs, pretty much you name it, it was there, Jaguars, etc. But what I found kind of surprising and a little disappointing for me personally, there were no Virtual Boys. I had left myself a note, please play the Virtual Boy while you're there, because I've played one once ever, and that was when they were new in the shops. And I know it's got quite a fan. It's got almost cult favorite status now in the collecting community. So I thought I should really give the Virtual Boy another try. But darn it, they didn't have any there. And then moving on from the console machines, we had quite a big section of arcade classics. And everything, I think there were a few Pong type machines, lots of Pac-Mans and Donkey Kongs, etc. And I just thought I'd go through and show you a lot of the games that they had, because, you know, this is obviously where it all came from. When we play our home consoles, this was what was trying to be replicated in the home. It was this experience, standing up in front of a cabinet, the neon lights of the arcade. And of course, I had to show Chun-Li doing her thing. This was kind of neat, a row of Nintendo cabinets, which we will get to because I forgot I also recorded some Hyper Sports there. So yeah, here's the Nintendo cabinets. Got your Donkey Kong Jr., but what's very cool is they had the Donkey Kong Pauline edition, where there was a story of the fellow who had decided to make the NES version of Donkey Kong. He hacked the ROM so that his daughter could play as Pauline, and somebody's actually done the same thing with the original arcade cabinet. So there you go, you can see you're actually playing as Pauline there, and somebody's modified the cabinet art to match the same kind of thing. And moving on down the line, you can see all kinds of machines. There's one coming up that I've never really played, didn't get a chance to here. Baby Pac-Man. Strange combination of pinball and arcade machine. You got a Journey there, and Dragon's Lair. Now, I played Dragon's Lair when it was new, and I have it on my home emulator machine. It's kind of interesting to play the original again because the Laserdisc, as it grabs the next scene, it's slower than most emulators, so it takes a little getting used to. This is me playing that Dragon's Lair machine after that fella moved on. And you can see even more classics here and there. And there's a machine coming up, Fire Truck by Atari. You can't emulate this possibly. You got two steering wheels back to back. One person drives the front of the truck, the other person drives the back of the truck. I remember that machine went back when I used to visit arcades as well. Leader, not familiar with that one, but I believe it's a 4-player Pong machine. Video Pinball, I remember that one. Didn't get a chance to play it though. Just moved on too quick. And once again, I'm just going to hint, this was a price tag. If you wanted to buy, you could take this home for this price tag, but computer space being used again. So you will hear more about computer space on my channel. Now, there was a machine along this row here, an Atari Asteroids, kind of. I decided to have a go on it because I love Asteroids, one of my favorite machines. But when I actually started playing it, I discovered it's not really Asteroids. If you look closely, here I am having a go, enjoying, playing along. I noticed the ship was the wrong shape, and then I saw the little alien group that chases after you, and I thought, wait a minute, they've stuck Asteroids Deluxe into an Asteroids cabinet. It's not quite right. I still enjoyed the game until I started to notice that the left rotating button was getting stuck quite often, so I'd spin in a circle and get hit by the rocks. But I thought, okay, we'll just give that another try. It's maybe I'll just unstick the button, and it just kept getting jammed. So I just thought, okay, well, I've played, I'll move on. Interestingly, right around this time, Gamester81 was walking by with his camera. There was a sort of a bright light walking past me, and I looked over, and there he was, pointing his camera straight at me. I haven't checked his channel to see if you can find footage of me, but if you see a fellow in a blue shirt playing what is supposed to be the original Asteroids cabinet on Gamester81's channel, that's me at this exact moment. Look at that. Asteroids 1979. I don't think so. That's deluxe. Beyond the stand-up machines, a whole row of cocktail machines, which was great. Nice to see. I even saw a cocktail joust, which I don't remember seeing back when, but obviously they exist. And some cabarets. I had to go on quite a few of these, including the Centipede there. And then when I saw on the end that they had some Asteroids machines as cabarets, I thought, okay, I'm just going to make sure that this is in fact really Asteroids and not somebody hasn't stuck another deluxe inside here. And yes, lo and behold, it is real, genuine, authentic 1979 asteroids. I was very happy. I had a good go on that one. The cabarets were quite good machines, I have to say. Being able to fit them in a smaller space meant you had arcade cabinets in more places, and you would think it would impact the gameplay. It doesn't. They're an impressive bit of engineering. Speaking of impressive engineering, pinball machines. They had all shapes and sizes and ages. Everything from a Pinball 2000 machine there. They had some good old electromechanicals, which I did play and I recorded, but I didn't actually upload it to this video. They had the Bride of Pinbot, one of my big 3 favorites of all time. They had Judge Dredd. You'll be hearing more about Judge Dredd, not specifically the pinball machine, but Judge Dredd in general. You'll hear more about him on this channel. And then I decided to have a go on Dracula. Couldn't actually get on Judge Dredd or the Bride of Pinbot. I think they're very, very popular machines, but Dracula was sitting there and I thought, yeah, I'll give that one a try. I really like the way in this game, I can't recall what it is that sets off the effect, but there's one part of it, and you'll see it coming up soon, where the ball, in addition to the ball you're playing, a ball will kind of creep along the side of the playfield, kind of like a zombie going across. It's kind of a neat thing to check out. But yeah, I figure since Halloween is coming up, Dracula is a good place to leave off with. So, really enjoyed the Portland Retro Gaming Expo this year. I hope to go again next year. It was bigger than the previous show we had seen. A lot of great personalities. Met up with Johnny Millennium from Happy Console Gamer and a lot of other great folks. So yeah, looking forward to maybe checking that out again, and if not, some of the other retro shows that we've got going on. So yes, there goes the ball. Did you see it creeping across there? Anyway, yeah, so hope you enjoy the footage, and until next time, from Portland, we will see you down the rabbit hole.